Hi, this is Kathleen from Bailey Academy, mama of 5, homeschooling 2 of them, ages 12 and almost 15. Today I'm participating in a collab with Davine from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. And them and other YouTubers, homeschool YouTubers, are talking about our math curriculum picks for the next school year, 2026 to 2027. After you check out this video, you can check the description for the link to the playlist where you can see all the other YouTubers that are participating and see what they chose as their math curriculum picks. If you're not new here, my picks will not be a surprise, but just in case you are new here, we use Learn Math Fast, and I'm going to share a bit about how we use it, why we use it, and what the plan is for next year, maybe even a flip through. But I do have other videos that I will link to in the description as well, where I've done others about the Learn Math Fast system. So specifically, first of all, about us. We've been using Learn Math Fast since February of 2024, which means it's been 2 years. We will be using my youngest daughter, who is going rising grade 7, will be using book 2, which she did it before, and we'll be just redoing it. Yeah, so she did book 2 before, but we went through it too fast, and so we're going to backtrack. We've been this past couple months, we've been going back to not the first book, but the worksheet book for volume 1. Volume 1's the only one that has worksheet book, and using it as like a reviewing ourselves on book 1, and then we will be starting book 2 very soon. Book 2 is, I'll tell you more about the program in a minute if you've never heard of it, but the book 2 is basically fractions and decimals, or not fractions. Yes, fractions, decimals, percentages, that sort of thing, and a little bit about negative numbers. And so we will be doing that. And then next year we will be continuing wherever we left off in this book, and then moving on to book 3, which is technically pre-algebra. So since she's only going to grade 7 and it's pre-algebra, and I'm not trying to do anything early, I'm not too worried about how slow we go as long as we just keep making progress. So look at my notes. So that is the plan for her. And then for my son, who will be a rising grade 10, he is currently in book 5, which is essentially Algebra 1. So we are just starting this last 2 weeks. So we will be working this right up until the end of June, and then we will put it aside for the summer. And so we will review what we learned first thing in September, and then continue on with the book. Excuse me, kitty. Thank you. Okay. If you're not familiar with the program, there's 7 books, and it is math from basically kindergarten all the way to the basics of grade 12, like geometry and the 2 algebras. The only thing it doesn't cover is things like calculus or pre-calculus or advanced functions, vectors, that kind of thing. But all the regular stuff that you would take in school is there. And I don't have book 1 in front. Oh, wait, did I bring book 1? Oh, I did bring book 1. So this is book 1. Book 1 starts off very simple. Very, very simple. It's after you get a little bit of information on how to use it. Starts off with addition and subtraction, literally adding and subtracting numbers up to 5. This is an American company, so the pictures of money in here are American. So when we got to the part where we're adding money, I just took out real money with my kids since we're Canadian. But for like measurements, it has both in here, metric and imperial, so that's nice. And it's mostly black and white with just a little bit of color in a couple of spots. I'll do a flip through, but this is actually good if you like very simple. And as soon as your child, maybe not in kindergarten, but as soon as your child can read well enough to do this on their own, they can just take it and go. It's designed to be easy to follow. It tells you when you should move on, or if you, like it says, like, you know, for this 30-second test, try to answer these 20 problems in less than 30 seconds. If you can, you're ready for lesson 3. If you can't, keep practicing until you can. No hurry. So, you know, it tells you exactly when to move on to the next step. You can buy each of these books separately, or you can also buy it all as a set, and there's also a set with extras, like for the 4th book, which is geometry. It has a geometry kit, which has like a protractor and some shapes and little a pencil even, a little note, not a note, like a card with like things to remember on it, like formulas, that's what I was looking for, like little diagrams and stuff like that. But that's totally optional, like formula card. And then there's also a big bookmark, which has a bunch of stuff on it which you can use as a bookmark in the books that you're currently on. And I like this program because, well, I got it for review, so I can't comment on having to spend the price, but it does look like a large price when you look at how much it is for the whole system. But keep in mind that that's for the whole system for your children, especially if they're already young right now, from then until they graduate. You can, you know, so if you know you're homeschooling the whole time, then you're good to go. And you won't have to buy something new after that. Even if you have trouble working with it, like I did for a bit, because I found out what the reason was I went too fast, you can easily go back to it. I have used supplements before, but you absolutely don't need to, and I didn't find them very helpful. Like I said, I used Learn Math Fast, the workbook book, to kind of review. They also have, as soon as you've bought at least a book, they have free practice questions or worksheets that you can print online. I did, for a short bit, use 100 Days of Pre Algebra Skills from Amazon with my son, but I didn't find it really like necessary or anything. Everything is in the Learn Math Fast system. So most things I tried were not helpful and really doesn't need a supplement. You only need one program. Other videos that are linked below are the unboxing, some tips, and an update I did which had a giveaway. The giveaway is closed now, but an update on how we're still using it. My other suggestion is jensenmath.ca. I will link it below in the description too. And although it does have grade, like all high school maths, it's a Canadian website, so it's to Canadian standards. But it does have pre-calculus, I think, or at least calculus and advanced functions, vectors, stuff like that. And so that's what we used for my daughter who has graduated when she wanted to do the advanced maths. But other than that, like, this covers up to grade 12 math, and it's designed for adults. So if you yourself just want to recap on math, or like get the parts that you never got in school, if you struggled, you know what I mean? This is absolutely not just designed for kids or anything. This is designed for anyone who wants to know. And it's so, like, it doesn't give you pages and pages of work. It gives you a couple questions, and then it's like, okay, you either understand it or you don't. If you need more practice, then you go online and you get the extra practice worksheets, or you can even go back and try it again. If you're still not confused, you go back and read the lesson again. It's right there. But yeah, that doesn't give you like 50 questions for each one and make you have to take an hour for math. You can literally start. You don't even have to do like a certain like amount of lessons a day or anything. You just start, go, it's been long enough for your, whether your math classes are 20 minutes or an hour, however long your family does it. You do math that time, and then you're done. So that is what we use. I'm trying to see what else. Okay, so if you're going to buy, you can buy from Amazon, at least in the States. I'm not sure if Amazon.ca has it. In Canada, you can buy from Learning House website. But you can't guarantee it's the current version, and they don't have a money-back guarantee. If you want a money-back guarantee, buy from the website itself. I will link these all in the description as well. And so that is what we're going to use for math for the 2026-2027 school year. That sounds so weird. And the last thing I was just going to do was show you a little bit of the system. So volume 1 here, like I said, let me go a little bit further in. Okay, so multiplying by 8. Okay, so there's only one problem left from the 8s that you need to learn, because they would have already memorized the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 times tables. So they already know 1 times 8, 2 times 8, 3 times 8, 4 times 8, 5 times 8, 6 times 8, and 7 times 8. So they just have to memorize 8 times 8. But that's an easy one to remember, as it even says. And then you just make sure you have them all down pat. Do a quick worksheet. Just make sure you've got the idea. Move on. It has different tricks and stuff like that in it too. You can choose the ones you like. And I like that, we're practicing long division last time we were in this book. So here's the long division lesson. It just tells you what to do with arrows, and even explains why you do that. That's one thing my daughter always wanted to know. why do we do this? And I was just always liked the process of it. So I'm like, you do it because that's how you do it. I don't know, you just do. And she needs to know the behind the scenes, like why it works that way. And this book explains that, but without going so long that it takes you too long to do math. And so I love the Learn Math Fast system. Not because we got it for review or I wouldn't be using it 2 years later. Because I'm so glad that we got it for review because it wouldn't be in our budget. But if you can work it, it's worth it. I think that's all I wanted to say. Don't forget to look in the description for all the things I mentioned, but also the link to the playlist so that you can see what everybody else is talking about for their math curriculum picks. And other curriculum pick videos will be coming up over the next couple weeks and month or so. So keep an eye out for those. I have lots of picks figured out now, and I want to share them with you. Thanks. Bye.